So I hope you're having a blessed Sunday. I hope you're having a blessed Sunday. Oh, that's funny. Get retweeted by Kanye, then old followers come back. That's so funny. Anyway, so what I want to talk to you guys about is I'm obsessed with, I've been a digital pioneer. I'm a digital pioneer. So what I want to do is I want to do something why I came to this industry. So I started doing digital professionally in politics in 2006, 2007. And back in those days, there were about 5 or 6 of us who did it, well, maybe not, maybe like 12 of us who did it professionally, full time. And now there's over 3,000 Republican operatives who do digital. And so I really did help pioneer a space, done the whole panel thing, did all kinds of things. I'm responsible for open source CMSs on the right. I'm responsible for taking down some of these big credit card processors and payment gateways that were at 15%. All kinds of other things. Helped win a Supreme Court case. So I've done a lot in my career. And the reason I'm on here talking to you on Periscope is because one of the original promises of the internet was that every man could be a node. So that every man could be a node. And, we're just going to block any of the haters in the comments section. So let's just go to that first one. So, this is what I'm explaining why this isn't self-indulgence. I get my ego and my money and all of my other stuff outside of this world. What I want to actually explain to you is how not to let ego take over you when something very awesome happens to you. And I also want to explain that we're all nodes. I want to return the internet back to what we thought it could be, in the early 90s. And that was that if you were an expert or something happened to you and you stood up and you told the truth, that everyone else could obtain that information and we would all be smarter for it. What instead has happened is we have built silos and given away our nodes to Facebook, Twitter, AOL, Yahoo, CNN, and they're controlling the information. And what you're seeing from the left and the right, what you're now seeing in the black community, I predicted this was going to happen. And Kanye West just put out a tweet during the beginning of this scope about the information age. This is something that my regular followers know that I've been talking about for a long time. He said, we're in the age of information and we've never been so starved for it. That's exactly what I've been talking about since January of last year with my audience. So what's happening is a lot of people are waking up to the fact that there's a con going on. And the con is not benefiting either side. It's actually benefiting oligarchs. For example, the rest of the world knows that America has oligarchs. Americans don't know that we have oligarchs. And that might sound crazy to you. But what I want to tell you is the Cold War was great. Yeah, please click share, y'all. Please click share. The Cold War, I support the Cold War. But we ran an information campaign on our own citizens here in America saying that Russia was different than it was. Russia was not far along on any of the technology that we said that they were. And what happened is, look, I support information warfare. I support America. Russia was bad. But, the thing that could get nasty is if we have untrue information and people making money from that untrue information. And the people who own the New York Times, the people who own, CNN and Time Warner, and the people who own NBC, NBC is different, but most media outlets don't make money. So why would a rich person want to own a media outlet? Well, it's undisclosed lobbying. So we make the lobbyists register. We make people who run campaigns like me register where money's going. We don't make media outlets register. So what I'm about to talk to you about is, or why I'm talking to you is because I'm a node. This experience happened to me. And so I'm just going to tell you what this experience was like and lessons like how I'm using my faith, how I'm using my professional experience, and other things to control ego. Because like Kanye says at the beginning of Jesus Walks, we are at war with ourselves. We're only at war with ourselves. And this is something that Jesus taught, that Buddha taught, that I teach. Sun Tzu teaches this in The Art of War. If you can control yourself, then you can win any battle. A lot of people think that winning is by chance. Even winners think that they won because they beat somebody across the finish line. No, it was the conditioning. We are all robots. It was conditioning. You conditioned more than they did, you know? And so if you can control as many factors in the environment and yourself, you can do anything. Black people are resilient people. Black Americans are among the most beautiful group or of ethnicity in the entire world. They've gone through hell and back. And what Kanye is trying to teach them is that this doesn't have to be something that all of us Americans in our subconscious think that, oh, we'll reach racial inequality or equality eventually. And so the left has this plan of, social justice and intersectionality and all this other like complex black liberation theology. There's like all these complex thoughts on the left of how we achieve it. And the right, they're like, well, we just all need to get along and forget about race. And what's funny is what Kanye believes, I believe, is what I also believe. And that's as soon as we can just break this conditioning and just stop it, stop trying to say, okay, identity politics is bad. Identity politics has been around since the beginning of time. Stop saying that we need to have identitarian politics. Reject all those notions and just be and just live and just strive. And what you'll find out is and I'm mainly talking like the young black men and women watching this, look at any successful black entrepreneur, read any interview. What is the commonality you see in all of them? The commonality you see in all of them is they were like, well, I stopped worrying about my circumstance and I just started doing. It was just sheer willpower, and that really says something, because slavery did not end with the Emancipation Proclamation. Slavery did not end until the 1960s. What would you call an American being treated differently by their government than another American who is deprived of liberties, opportunities, commerce, association, speech, worship? So, I actually agree with the left there that I don't think that slavery ended. My mom was born into slavery. So, anyway, what I want to talk about is what this is like. So, one is I was texting with someone today, and for me, I'm a professional political operative. So Kanye West retweeting me, that's an ego boost. But him retweeting my analysis of him is like the creme de la creme. Because, I know that retweets aren't endorsements, but these are his only organic retweets. They're not quote retweets, they're organic retweets. These are, he not only shared them, he liked one of them. I'm one of only 2 likes that he has. So clearly this resonated with him. And this isn't saying, my analysis was that he is constructing this large argument. And I used his lyrics and his songs and his tweets to come to this hypothesis. And so I threw this theory out there because, I'm a college dropout, but in high school and then a little bit for college, I debated, and I was really, really good. And it's just largely because I'm articulate and I can memorize things. I'm systematic in my thinking. But anyway, I was looking at it from a debater's perspective. So I was sharing on my Periscope one night about, well, if you kind of put this on the outline of an LD debate, here's how I see it. And now there's all these little kid LD debaters who are like attacking me like, well, he would have done this and this. I'm like, no, I didn't say it was an LD debate. I didn't say that this was actually, any type of discipline forensics. What I said is that in his head, he's got a well-constructed argument. And you can write your case. I mean, you guys know this. You guys can write your case however you want. And what's interesting about this is that it's very clear. I'll dumb it down a little bit. It's very clear that Kanye has a premise. It's very clear that Kanye has a premise. His premise is love. And the debate he wants to have is how to best achieve it. Now, remember, he's not the referee. He's not pretending to be in the media, having some fake panel. Well, how do we achieve love? And then have, unequal people talk about, things equally. It's so stupid. He says, well, I believe you can do that through MAGA. And if someone will prove him wrong, I actually believe that Kanye West will move to their side of thinking. But all they're doing is actually compounding his confirmation bias, which I think is actually just rooted in evidence, right? So we have white people and black people pressuring Chance the Rapper behind the scenes. Chance the Rapper runs his own foundation and does a lot of work in Chicago. Chance the Rapper had to do what Chance the Rapper had to do after the White House made a stupid tweet adding to the pressure campaign. That's when Chance broke. Chance didn't break during the first day. Chance broke when it threatened his good work. Killer Mike was bullied by children. Now Shania Twain, there's no excuse for what Shania Twain did. She's a total loser. Or the constant barrage that Roseanne Barr is facing. So what Kanye West is trying to do, and Kim alluded to this, Kim Kardashian alluded to this, was that, my husband is always years ahead of us, and in years when someone doesn't suffer this hate, you guys are going to be praising him. And you really have to think about that. Kanye West is existing in more worlds than anyone else right now. So he's a celebrity and he's a citizen, right? So as a celebrity, he's showing other celebrities come out and be brave. The day after Kanye tweeted, Kid Rock put out an even edgier tweet. Roseanne Barr said that what did she say? I'm also a dragon, right? You have all these celebrities who kind of now want to compete with this. And this is how Hollywood and the entertainment industry works anyway. It's like this social competitive thing that's going on. Okay, so he's already done that, right? Yeah, and he is an artist. He's expressing himself. He has to be true to himself, right? Okay, and then lastly, he's a citizen. And he really, really, truly believes that these people, the people call white trash, deplorable, rednecks, are of the same class, and Martin Luther King believed this too, of the same class of people who call those other people niggers, coons, tar babies, all kinds of other things, right? So, and Kanye West says this in his rap with T.I. What you don't realize is this cat is our people, right? And actually, when you really think about it, this is brilliant branding on Trump's part, because Trump came up with this himself. He didn't sit around with the committee and came up with this quote himself. And the basis of this is pride. The basis of it is pride. Of course it was going to reach men. Of course it was going to reach blacks. Of course it was going to reach boomers. Of course it was going to reach veterans and cops. So the people, but the press doesn't understand this. They're not alpha people. They're not testosterone driven. They're not people who take pride in anything except for believing that they are great stewards of information, right? So anyway, this was always going to happen. This was a ticking time bomb that was always about to happen. So anyway, for me though, Kanye West retweeting my two tweets is an endorsement, and it's an endorsement of my analysis. And one thing I always try to do is I try to be careful and I try to be sure. I want to be accurate in my analysis. I do have an interest in Kanye West being more conservative. I also have an interest in being accurate, right? Because a man who sees the battlefield accurate knows how to navigate it. And that's how I see myself. I'm convinced that's how Kanye West sees himself too. I'm convinced that Kanye West wants to just speak the truth and let the chips fall where they may. It is going to help the Republicans because Democrats disproportionately vote for Democrats. So of course, once you balance things off, it's going to affect the side that has a monopoly. The same thing would happen, when they broke up AT&T or Southern Bell or whatever it was called back then, right? Now, I'm not in a sunken place, sister. And this is the thing. You have to think about this. You and Jordan Peele are falling into this actual plantation. I don't like using that phrase. No, Kanye is not in a sunken place. Kanye's sunken place, if you've done any study, was when his mother died. And it's really, this is what's really painful, actually. It's really painful to watch people compare Kanye West's political views that aren't right of center, they are still left of center, to when his mother died. And then you guys want to use this to declare him mentally unfit so you can take away his kids and break up his marriage. And I'm just telling you, you guys are stoking a civil war you won't win. It will be violent. It will be bloody. And history will write poorly of y'all. Because one, you won't win, and winners write history. But two, it's very immoral what Democrats are doing. It's very, very, very immoral what you guys are doing. And it's inaccurate. It's inaccurate. You said, so you think you're white. I'm not white. I'm successful. I'm a proud black man. I talk about I've been talking about Kanye West for 3 years. I listen to hip hop and R&B. I've said that hip hop and rap were the new punk rock. Jack White just came out and said that a week ago. I'm one of the leaders in conservative criminal justice reform. I run a organization called Black Conservatives Fund. I mean, I'm pretty pro-black. It's not really up for debate. It's not something that you can rob me from. And another thing is that Jordan Peele, the director of Get Out, wrote about what a sunken place was. He says that it's okay. A sunken place was what? The scene in Get Out where he's stuck in the chair and he's being mentally mind warped. Well, what's funny about that? That's what Kanye West is accusing blacks of, who have this knee-jerk reaction to defend white Democrats. Why would you defend white Democrats and call Candace Owen a coon? Or call Kanye West mentally ill? Because you can't even see what you're doing. You're taking a white man's side to make black people feel less black. And see, this is what's really disgusting about it. And this is why Louis Farrakhan, this is why Malcolm X, this is why even black liberation people and black separatists understand that you can't be a Democrat. Because they own you. So, like, Kanye West isn't saying become a conservative. Kanye West isn't saying become a Republican. He's saying, Kanye West is saying become black. Become black. Become black. And that's what I want. I want a lot of you guys to become conservative. But I want everyone to become conservative in their own time. Or I want them to become a populist in their own time. Or I want them to become whatever they want. But I love my baby brother. My baby brother's as, liberal as sin. I love my middle brother. My middle brother's a rapper, a little bit of a gangster. And I love him. It's not anyway. So anyway, back to this. What is cool is, I'll talk about the ego side of this. So, what is really cool about this is, so when Kanye West retweets you, a lot of people come out of the woodwork, and it's very easy to like get high on your own supply, and think that that's a life-changing moment. So a lot of people texted me this morning, Ali, what are you doing? I was like, I'm cleaning my house. I'm cleaning my house. And, a reporter said, hey, Ali, I want to take this angle with the story. What do you think? And I said, don't call me for comment. Don't call me for comment. And this is important to me. It's important to me because I have to show that I have faith in the plan. My plan keeps me as influential as I am now, doesn't make anyone feel betrayed, doesn't sell out to any views, doesn't make me any more or less black. I'm not going to sound more black or sound less white or less black or anything like that. I'm not changing anything. I got Kanye because I was myself. I'm not going to become somebody else and lose myself and potentially lose Kanye. Right? I'm just going to keep being myself. I'm going to talk on Periscope. I'm not going to get out the better camera. I'm not going to do any, whatever. I'm just going to be myself. And I'm not going to New York to go do Fox News hits and tell black people to pull up their pants. I'm not going to call Chicago a war zone. I'm not going to call for the National Guard to come into Chicago. I'm not going to, I support this president. I don't have to agree with him on every policy. I'm not doing any of that. Because, that's not where my heart is. I'm a free thinker who happens to be conservative. I'm a free thinker who happens to have chilled with this president, enjoy this president's company, and enjoy favor with the White House, and still will put them on blast on my Twitter account. And I have always been me, and I've been wildly successful at being me. And I'm going to be even more successful at being me. But what I want people to know is that when your moment comes, and a moment will come for all of y'all. A moment will come for all of y'all. And this is like one of the 2 lessons I want you to learn is your moment will come if it hasn't already. And maybe you'll have dozens of moments in this life. You have to commit to stay true to your faith, your ideas, but also open-minded to change anything, to edit yourself, to make you more in line with your faith, more in line with your ideas, more in line with your vision of whatever of success is, right? And you can't let any of that other stuff come. And then, secondly, the other thing that you have to understand is that you're at war with yourself. That's it. I'm not competing against anybody else that Kanye has shouted out. I'm not competing with any other black person to be more black or less black. I'm not competing with any Republican operative to switch everybody to the Republican Party. I'm not competing for retweets even. I'm not changing my tweeting. I'm not changing. I got typos still. I got typos all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. The only person I'm competing with is myself. And whether you let your, shadow self, your alter ego, that devil on your shoulder take over. And that's it. I'm not going to get triggered by these people using racist comments, here. And you guys aren't going to get triggered by that, right? You guys aren't going to get triggered. And one thing I want you to know is I think this is a brilliant moment to do some self-evaluation. I think that this is a brilliant moment to do some self-evaluation. If you're a white conservative, think about the words that leave your lips when if a black person sees them. Right? If a black person heard you talking about Chicago a certain way, or policing a certain way, or knee-jerk supporting bad cops even, you know what I'm saying? How would that make them feel? Could they ever listen to reason or logic? Why should they listen to reason or logic if it's coming from a hostile source? Right? And the black person, when you see someone with a MAGA hat, does this person have to be a redneck, a dumbass, regressive, a queer person? When you see a Christian and the person says, I don't think that you should be able to get married, that's not coming out of a place of hate. That's coming out of a place of love for themselves, for God, and for you. And the Christian, when you see a gay couple, that shouldn't gross you out. That shouldn't stop you from interacting with them. Your granddaddy's alcoholism probably had a greater effect, more harmful effect on not just you and your family, but society, than two guys or two girls or three girls, kissing in the park. And that's, for me, even myself, I want to go to war all the time. I'm a born general, I was born with an old soul and a general, and I know how to fillet a person 10 ways from Sunday. But part of it is like dying to yourself, right? You just got to die to yourself and say, you know what? Everybody's got to be at the table eventually. That means the racists, the haters, the journalists who are stoking the Civil War, right? So choose love or choose fear. Yeah, disagree without disrespect. I like that comment. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard fighting that shadow self. That shadow self wants to kick in survival instincts. They know you're right. If everyone just comes on your side, then surely then we'll all agree. Well, guess what? That ain't happening. That ain't happening. Our society's never going to be fully conservative or fully liberal. It ain't happening. So then what? You're not compromising your principles by acknowledging that you are co-citizens in this country, that you have neighbors in this country, and a lot of them disagree with you on a lot of issues. You're not any less than, you're not any less principled. You still get to say, I told you so, right? So if somebody's tax policy or Obamacare fails, we conservatives get to say, we told you so. And, you guys did decimate the medical industry, but let's fix this together. No, you got Democrats going, we don't want to help you fix it. We're going to obstruct after spending years of calling them Republicans obstructionists. So, I don't know, what goes on from here is a lot. I'll tell you guys, I'm not showing my full hand. This is, like all things, it can't be, Jesus was not 50% God and 50% man. He was 100% man and 100% God. And unique moments in history like this are 100% man and 100% God. And so a lot of this is some of us messing with reality, and then a lot of this is divine. A lot of this is divine. I mean, I have more black young millennials and Gen Zers following me now more than any point in my career. I'm so grateful that Kanye gave me that opportunity to show peace, love, kindness, and not that stuff that you find in Logic's album, which is all talk, and then he goes to insult MAGA voters. No, see, black young millennials and Gen Z get to see from me real love, real preaching, without selling out, or without just placating to make white people happy and make myself famous. I could do that. I could wear this hat and I could say all sorts of awful, true, maybe, or half-true things about black people. And they would throw gobs of money at me. I could get a book deal. You know, slaves, plantations, pull your pants up, gang on gang violence, black crime, black crime, black crime, Black Lives Matters, blah, blah, blah. You know, I could say all that. Or I could talk about actual solutions that will bring black people to their own thoughts. And they'll be 25% conservative, 50% conservative. You know, they can be on the individual level any amount of conservative that they want. And then we get real diversity, a competition of ideas. And then it's never about race. And I'm really excited about that future. That's the future I'm building. And my future doesn't lead me to believe that a couple retweets that everyone's going to forget in 3 weeks is going to change it, right? No, but the hundreds of new black people following me will and can. You know, it's like Tupac said, you know, let me play you guys what Tupac said. Yeah, I was retweeted twice by, I'm the only person.
I'm going to change the world. But I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish. Because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change it. I don't know how to change it. But I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody's going to clean it up.
Do you not love that? Let's listen to Tupac once again.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish, and because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change it. I don't know how to change it, but I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody's going to clean it up.
See, look at this. You know Tupac's mom was a Black Panther, right? He didn't like you. Yes, I know that Pac's mom was a Black Panther, a fierce black woman, and I don't support the Black Panthers. Guess what? We'll live. I'll live. I love her. I love him. It doesn't matter. And I do know that Pac and I would probably disagree on economic issues and maybe social issues. I don't know. But I do know that Tupac agreed with me. Malcolm X agreed with me. And that's that the Democrats are treating you like a fool and that you're selling out to the white man, not me. I'm enjoying white money. You're enjoying white slavery, white poverty, right? You guys get the projects, McDonald's, bad living, smog, you know, they put you all in cities and all this other nastiness. I have white clients, white colleagues, black people I'm mentoring, and I'm freeing people. So, you know, I don't know. I'm just not convinced that Tupac, MLK would keep this. There's this thought in all of our heads. There's a thought in all of our heads that progress marches one way, that everything's always going to get liberal. And the more you study history, you'll see these periods in society where it broke. And a lot of people aren't familiar with history, partly because it gets written out. But guess what? Liberals, so the elites in society, you know, the bourgeois tweet, you know, used to go around talking about black people and having small brains. It was called eugenics. It was science. This was common talk at dinner parties. It was in science journals. It was everywhere. Eugenics. And they believed that you needed to kill off black people. that if you had a black child, I mean, some Arabs still believe this. Some Arabs actually still believe this. And it just turns out it's not true. You know that scene that you see in Django Unchained when they're talking about the brain? That was like literally America. That was literally America. That was like common thought for blacks and whites. And guess what? A lady who believed in that named Margaret Sanger founded Planned Parenthood so she could exterminate the black race. And still to this day, their marketing budget is overwhelmingly targeting black neighborhoods. And you have to ask yourself, why is that? Why is that? Why should we have fewer black babies? Oh, because they're poor. We can solve that. We got more white people who want black babies than we know what to do with. White people want black babies so bad that when they can't get a black baby, they go get a Chinese baby because it's easier. So, I mean, there's been this gigantic hoodwink. And would I vote for Kanye if he ran for office? I don't know. I would hope to help influence his ideas because I'm an ideas guy. Would I work for him? I don't know. I'm very pro-life. That'd be a tough issue for me to get over. And there's a number of other issues I'd want to work out. But I've never supported a Democrat for president, and I would encourage him to run the Democratic Party. And that would be tough for me. But I don't know. I don't know what the future is going to look like. We might be engaged in a civil war, and Owens for vice president? No, she's a child, and she's not even of age. So what else? If you could apply open-mindedness to understanding abortion, it would completely change the conversation. No. Do not confuse me having a solid position with not being open-minded. If Roe v. Wade was decided today, with the science we know today that we did not know during Roe v. Wade, it would have been decided differently. That's objective legal analysis that everyone concludes. We know more about brainwaves and heartbeats in babies and fetuses than the Supreme Court justices considered at the time. There would be none of that. We also are the most liberal country when it comes to aborting. Okay? Even the more left countries don't abort their children the way we do. And so it's me. I actually have a informed, open-minded, educated opinion on abortion, and it is that I believe in life. And here you have this black guy calling me a coon for encouraging more black kids. Like, they really, really have these people on some sunken place plantation. Yeah, but anyway, I'm not here to debate that issue. I'm just here to say, like, that's the thing. You have to find it looks like a middle ground, but when you live it, it's not a middle ground. If you live through love, but have a blunt opinion, it's not a middle ground. It's a middle tone. I can talk to everyone. Everyone loves me. The black people on here are loving it, and they're hearing one thing. The Christians are hearing, and they're hearing another. The conservatives are hearing another. Everyone's hearing that they like this guy and what he's talking about. He's unifying. And yet what? I'm declaring my tax position. I'm declaring I support Donald Trump. I'm declaring that I listen to Yeezys music. I'm declaring that I'm radically pro-life. And what you'll understand is that you don't have to like this guy, he just types in White Lives Matter. It's like this desperate internet feeling like, I need to get my opinion out because no one will listen to me. So I just need to, throw it out there so I can say I told you so later. I'm done with that culture. I'm so done with that culture. Someone said, Ali, you are a Muslim and you are supporting a guy who's anti-Muslim, anti-Islam. 1, I am anti-Islam. 2, I am pro-Muslim because that's just a human being. 3, I'm not Muslim. And 4, Donald Trump is not anti-Muslim. So, you were wrong on 4 counts with like 12 different words. That's very impressive. Very, very impressive. Yeah, I'm half Arab, half black. I'm a biracial man. My dad is Arab. He left when I was 2. And my mom is black. I was raised by her only. Single black woman, Section 8 housing. I dropped out of college twice, started my own business, went on probation, had a deferred adjudicated felony. Like, I'm black. I'm blacker than some more black people just because I talk, in an excited and high-pitched voice. It just ain't the case, Yeah, it is very cool. I think that's very cool that Kanye West is plugged into alternative media. He's watching Jordan Peterson. He's watching Scott Adams. I know that he's been watching some of my stuff and consuming my stuff for months now. And someone said, what's the difference between Islam and Muslim? Well, a Muslim is a person who practices Islam, and Islam is a religion. So it's the difference between a Baptist and Christianity. So, one's a person and one's a religion? Yeah, racial attacks only come from people out of fear. Exactly, because here's what the mental process is going is, I disagree with this person. It's not just that. It's this person's ideas are so dangerous, it's going to turn physical. So, see, their intent is almost right, but then that's what encouraged Hitler, right? This is what encouraged Hitler. I can solve all the ills of an unmotivated German people. Let me do it this way. And that, I'm just telling you, that leads to mass murder and genocide, frankly. But it leads to a lot of hate in your own heart, and it will destroy you. And so if you say, this black coon wearing that MAGA hat threatens my baby brother who might see him and then be convinced to vote Republican, let me tear this coon down, well, then you're only acting out of fear. Your hate is coming from a place that you are afraid of my ideas and that I'm articulate and that I'm attractive. And, I can only disable that, not through treating you like an equal in a debate. I would never do that. I would never do that. See, that's another thing that people don't understand. I grew up with 2 younger brothers, okay? I got accused of everything and asked everything. And one thing I learned is you don't ever have to answer for the accusation of anything. If someone says, Ali, you're Muslim, I never have to respond if I don't want to. That doesn't make me Muslim. Someone could say, Ali, you support racist policies. I don't ever have to respond to that. I do not generally respond to my inferiors with equality because they haven't earned it. Now, what I do is I do a takedown of that person in Periscope or Twitter so that others will learn from it. And so that's the difference. Again, it looks like middle road. It looks like hate and love is combined. But what you have to understand is if you seek wisdom, you can learn that all these tools are powerful at separate times. The Bible says that there's a season for everything. And you know what? When God wanted to destroy some motherfuckers, fires come down from the sky. And when he wants to save some motherfuckers, the spirits come down from the sky. So, that's just how he rolls. Said, dude, are you even black? Why is your hair straight? Yeah, I'm half black, half Arab, so my hair is naturally wavy, and I do my hair pretty straight because I like it like that. Looks good. Looks really good. I get hit on a lot. I like it. And you know what? Long hair in our society, especially among men, is a sign of wealth. I can display that I can take care of my health, that I have a flexible schedule that allows for that I can buy expensive products that take care of that I have a lot of self-knowledge. It's very hard being biracial. I got 2 different textures in my hair. It grows all kinds of ways. And, that is what it is. Yeah, and there's a ton of black men with straight hair and long hair. Michael Jackson, Prince, Sammy Davis Jr., James Brown, Chuck Berry, like all, all the black guys who invented rock and roll. Yeah, we're free thinkers. We're free thinkers. Who's a free thinker here? Who's a free thinker here? That doesn't make you not conservative or not Republican or not liberal or not Democrat. But who's here to finally say, you know what? I need to do a check on myself. I'm going to spend the next months. No, I don't listen to Sam Harris. I find him annoying. I'm going to do some introspection. I'm going to do some introspection, see what I do really, really need to cling to, and whatever else I can get rid of. And that everything I believe, I don't need to say. Everything I believe, I don't need to spat out of my mouth, because if it means agreeing with someone and then leaving some other stuff on the sideline, I'll do that. I'm seeing a lot of free thinkers. Yeah. Free at last, free at last. And God Almighty, I'm free at last. You can't be a free thinker and tied to an ideology. You can be a free thinker who's ended parts of your journey. I believe you absolutely can be. Most ideologues who don't revisit it and don't have their faith challenged aren't free thinkers. But that's like saying anybody who's religious can't be a free thinker. And that's not true. This is live. Yeah, we all mature. We all mature. So what do I like about the president? Thank you for the, the honest, open-ended question. Let me tell you the story of me and the president first. So I have known the president since 2014. I originally have opposed the president in 2011. So some of the people who have spent political money registered in the FEC database there's few people who have spent money longer against Donald Trump than I have. So I'm an original OG hater. 2011 was the first time I ever spent money against Donald Trump to stop him from running in 2012. I met him, worked with him in 2014. He appeared at a conference where I was basically second or third in command. Donald Trump and I hit it off right away. And I'll tell you two things that everyone thinks about the man. They're totally untrue. One, I found out he wrote his own speeches. I write politicians' speeches. I've written speeches for senators, congressmen, candidates. I've made people famous, people you've heard of. To watch a man write his own speech on computer paper and a Sharpie blew my fucking mind. And then secondly, is he's curious. He's very, 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 very curious. The guy processes information very fast, has a memory like an elephant, and there's a bunch of other stories I could tell about us hanging out, but we hung out for 3 or 4 hours, and it was truly an enriching experience. But this is how free thinking I am. When he announced he would run for president, I still opposed him. So I don't sell out to anybody. I won't sell out to a billionaire, not for flattery, not for anything. And Donald Trump flattered me. I'm not going to tell you like the conversation we had, but Donald Trump loves me. He loves him some Ali. Every time he sees me, he stopped Secret Service before so he could sit and talk with me. Like, the dude is empathetic and he is curious. Does he have a big ego? Donald Trump has a big ego. We all have egos. The question is whether a lot of people don't understand this. There's confidence, there's pride, there's arrogance, and there's ego. Everyone has an ego. It depends on who feeds your ego. Donald Trump largely feeds his own ego, like I do. But yeah, ego is kind of like the mind body. It's there. Everyone has ego. And anyway, I want to go with this. So anyway, I didn't support him, and then I still went to the convention. This was my third Republican National Convention in a row, and I've been to 2 Democratic National Conventions. I get a lot of access. I know a lot of people. I'm a very high up person in my party. So I went to the convention kind of unsure about Donald Trump. And I watched the convention play out, and I was actually horrified at a lot of it. I was like, what? But in a lot of ways, I was thinking like a legalist. I was thinking like a basic bitch conservative. And quite frankly, and, you know, I mean, I don't want to go into it, but anyway, when I saw San Jose happen, and I saw Mexican gangs and Antifa and Democrat activists team up together while the police and the media watched Trump supporters get bloodied, egg thrown at them, beat up, terrorized, I said, this looks like a third world country. This looks like an Eastern European country. And I said, I would rather go down with Trump than stand in silence for the violence. Period. That's my view. I'm for peace. The media is for war. I'm for peace. The media is for war. And so what's funny is it opened up my heart. Once I stopped looking at everyone as uneducated and a child of God who needed protection, I started saying, oh, this is why Trump is saying this. And some of it I agreed with. He changed my views on some things. And some of it I said I disagree with, but it's coming from an open and a place. And I'll tell you this, Trump changed. Trump's heart changed. So a lot of Trump's original Trump supporters, they're closed-minded and they can't even see it. But Trump started surrounding himself with more Christians. A lot of my friends advise him. I have too many friends in the White House. And they're all very salt of the earth, you know, Bible-believing Christians. And, you know, choosing Mike Pence over Newt Gingrich. I'm allies with Newt. I'm closer with Newt than I have been with Pence. And yet I wanted Pence to be the pick because I knew that he could help Donald Trump's heart and would not compound the thing that Newt and Trump both have in common, which is an ego that occasionally needs to be played out by a crowd. Okay, so I know all these guys on a personal level. So no one's ever had to tell me, you know, I don't need the education of the media who does not know these people. They interview these people in a professional setting. You know, they've never drank with these people, ate with these people, prayed with these people, or hung out with these people, or defended these people. So anyway, I ended up supporting the president. So here's what I like about him. What I like about the president is that he is empathetic. He does a lot of stuff in secret, but a lot of stuff, he wants to help the American worker. So NAFTA has helped states like Texas, but it's hurt states like Pennsylvania. Donald Trump constantly defending the worker made me as a Texan say, do I want to be a little bit richer and watch Pennsylvania and West Virginia and Ohio and their culture get decimated? Kids can't live in the same towns that their grandparents grew in. I don't like that. I mean, that's not just an economic issue, that's a cultural and social issue. So Trump made me more empathetic because I stopped looking at an issue as free market, free market, free market. So Trump moved me left on that issue. And another thing that Trump's done is he's done more on the world stage for peace than any president ever. You know, I'm very educated with how the world works, got friends in the State Department, intelligence community, all kinds of stuff. What he has done by restoring Israel, by resetting our relationship with Saudi Arabia, by encouraging the House of Saud to get on the same policy so that the half that was funding terrorism is no longer funding terrorism, to pass a new treaty that cut off a lot of the financing across the Middle East for terrorism, for killing ISIS through a containment strategy, instead of just pushing them out of the region and letting them go to Africa to terrorize Africa, or come back once President Trump is out of office. Beautiful strategy. Holding Iran account, which is the largest state sponsor of terror. Encouraging historic peace talks with the two Koreas. putting China in its place, stopping their aggression with Japan, not diving into a politically expedient war with Russia, not letting Germany run all of Europe. This dude is magnificent. This dude is magnificent. Yeah, Saudi Arabia is destroying Yemen. They're enemies. It's funny that people who don't want us to be police of the world want us to police everything if we're going to police anything. And that's not an adult world of the view in my point of view. So, Donald Trump also saved me money. I'm a small business owner who pays the Obamacare tax because I'm healthy. So it costs me less to pay everything out of pocket in cash than it would for me to have a health care plan with a high deductible. So I have been a victim of Obamacare as a young, black, semi-successful man because I haven't had health care insurance. And since I was 29, my health care costs have doubled each year, which is still pretty negligible. I'm, extremely healthy. But Donald Trump has now got away with the individual mandate and told the IRS to ignore the checkbox when it comes to checking that checkbox or not, whether you have it or not. So Donald Trump has helped me. So anyway, when people ask me why do I support this president, it's easier to say why I wouldn't support this president, because everything this president has done, the Republican Congress has been close to feckless. But what this president has done has been magnificent. He's really restored the order. He hasn't told Congress what to do. He's encouraged them to legislate. And that's a change of tone from George W. Bush and Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. Well, Bill Clinton until he lost. But that's why I support this president. It's just these policies help me. These policies help our country. And I'm going to keep doing that. What are my thoughts on the NRA? The NRA is the oldest civil rights organization. I'm going to the NRA convention next month in Dallas. I don't know if I agree with the NRA on everything. I actually might be further right on the issue than they are. I believe the Second Amendment is a great thing. And the NRA sometimes actually gives part of it away. So, I feel bad. I feel bad for people in the NRA who are labeled almost domestic terrorists for standing up for one of the original civil rights. Who is my favorite conservative speaker? I don't really want to get into that. Who cares? I know all these guys, so I don't really want to get it. Like the bump stock. No, actually, you know what? The bump stock thing I agree with. No one needs a bump stock. You mentioned that you were thinking about leaving the Republican Party. Why is that? Because Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan are some backstabbing douchebags. And I don't think we're dedicated to winning. And I know they did stick up for Philando Castile. His name is not Philando Castro. It's Philando Castile. And the NRA did put out a statement when that situation happened. And I don't like it when people lie about that situation. Very tragic what happened there. And people would rather use a dead black man for the Democratic Party agenda instead of even get his name right. I mean, come on. I mean, the world's breaking. The world's breaking. Y'all have already lost. Y'all have already lost. Should Trump start his own party? No. Yeah, Trump is not a conservative. Trump governs with conservatives. Conservatives are part of his coalition. But Trump's not a conservative. You know? Who knows? I don't read tarot cards. I don't want to talk about George Soros. I want to talk about things that matter. Like, why aren't we working together on criminal justice reform? Why is Jared Kushner the only person in the White House pushing for that? I don't have any thoughts on some dude I've never heard of. You know? Why is it that Republican governors are leading the way in America? Governor Deal, Governor Abbott, former Governor Perry on criminal justice reform, and not Democrat governors. Why is that? I mean, that's weird to me. That's weird to me. I don't even have the answer to that. It's so weird. And I know a lot about a lot. But that's weird to me. I think it's beautiful. And this is what a lot of people don't realize. When Kanye met with Trump, I knew what happened. The body language said it all. And if you were like me and you had a lot of money betting on political outcomes, you were watching body language every day during the transition. I made a lot of money, not a lot, but I made several $1,000s during the transition, accurately predicting who would be cabinet appointees and stuff like that. And what you need to know is that Trump brought Kanye to the Trump Tower, and he let him come up with this posse. That would have required Trump telling Secret Service to let him. So that, first, would be unusual. Two is he came back down the elevator with Kanye, which he didn't do with everyone. He didn't do with most people. Three, he did a photo op to help Kanye rehabilitate and said he's a good man. And so that was Trump doing Kanye an emotional favor, giving him some energy. And Trump's presence, I mean, Trump is a tall, big, statured dude. It's just very different. I'll tell you, if you guys really actually want to know something, because I spend time between LA and DC, let me tell you guys something else. Is DC politicians and New York people take photos differently than celebrities. So what you'll notice is that Kanye does the thing, and Trump doesn't do that. Trump's like, you better get a good shot, and the shutter speeds, So, anyway, so I knew then that the conversation they had in there was one about love, about healing, about, are you okay, Kanye? Because Trump has a multi-decade-year history of caring about people. When he reads a sad story that moves him, he will send that person money. He will provide them free place. He'll call them. He loves calling people out of the blue. No doubt in my mind that Trump called Kanye after his tweets. No doubt in my mind. So, Trump is probably an empath, and Kanye got to see that, and that probably encouraged him to educate himself online about MAGA. So think about this. It took the love of Trump and then having the media lie about Kanye himself to go, wait a minute, something's not adding up. I know the media lies about me. Do they lie about him too? And he goes research, what he didn't do during George W. Bush or Hurricane Katrina. He goes research and he's like, whoa, none of these people are racist, And, that's what that's about. So, there's a lot of other people who love Kanye, who just want Kanye to be Kanye. They're both Geminis. Interesting. I'm not a big horoscope person. I'm not confused. I'm very educated. I haven't said anything that's untrue. I haven't said anything that I've not thought about. I've avoided answering every single question. I'm not doing this for ego. You know, don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. It's unlikely, to be honest, that you've ever been around anybody who has spoken this much educated truth to you. It's like hugely unlikely. And that's just the fact. The fact is that most college professors could not hold a candle to me. That I'm in one of the top of my classes in terms of political operatives. That I have access to anybody I want in politics. And so, you know, you're blessed to have this knowledge, and you're not here to treat me like, you know, like trash. I'm not the equivalent. I'm not the one. You know? No, I used to live in D.C. I hate D.C. D.C. is poison. I'm glad that Kanye introduced you to me. I hope that we can continue a multi-year relationship, Emily, where I can teach and I may be able to learn something about your journey along the way. And with that said, you proved my point. If I proved your point, who did I prove it to? Doba, who did I prove your point to? Yeah, I don't want to get greedy in my takedown. What are some other cool questions or topics we could talk about? It's so funny when people compare me to Mike Cernovich. You know what? Human beings are full of patterns. And there's going to be crossover. Mike Cernovich is extremely well-read. He's more well-read than you guys know he is. That's what I tell everyone. They're like, what's the most shocking thing about Mike Cernovich? I'm like, that you know how he's pretty well-read? They're like, yeah, he's actually a lot more well-read than that. So, like, I'm well-read. And I'm more well-studied than well-read, and he's more, well, he's probably both or whatever. You know, he's 40, I'm 32. We both feel like we have older souls. Like, you know, life hit us hard early, and we adapted, and we've always gotten more than we deserved. And it's humbled us, and we've, you know, so we have a lot of parallels, you know. His voice is high, my voice is high, I have an underbite, he has a little bit of a lisp, you know. So there's going to be similarities. He's an introvert, I'm an extrovert who's turning into an introvert. So, you know, of course there's going to be similarities between me and him. There's going to be similarities between me and Scott Adams, and there's going to be similarities between me and Hillary Clinton. You know? There's going to be similarities between me and Hillary Clinton. Humans are just patterns, my friend. You know what's funny? Okay, here's what happened is I get a lot of interaction on Twitter anyway, but then I started seeing there's a little bit of extra action. And then I heard my phone go bing, bing, bing. And I was like, okay, that's weird. And then I get a call on FaceTime from my friend Pizza Party Ben. And I answer it because Ben's one of my, like, top 3 or so. You know, like, if he calls, I answer whatever I'm doing. And so I said, what's up? He's like, I want to see your reaction. I'm like, to what? And he's like, well, this is disappointing. And I'm like, to what? And I look at my text message, I'm like, oh. Because I keep saying the word he. And I'm like, who would be he? There's only 3 he's right now in the world. There's only 3 he's in the world. Jesus Christ, Donald Trump, and Kanye West. So then I knew it was Kanye West. So I went and I looked, I said, oh, Weird. Is this his profile? And so that's how that whole experience happened. That was pretty fun. Now, it was also annoying. I'll tell you, being an influencer and someone who puts your energy out there for other people to consume is very lonely and tiring and exhaustive. And, there's some people, I'll put it this way. Of the 100 people that contacted me personally, thousands that contacted me publicly, but the 100 or so friends that contacted me, so this is the 3 people you worship. I didn't say I worship them. I said there's 3 he's. There's 3 people that if you said he, people would associate the biggest topics in the world right now. But anyway, of the 100 people who probably talked to me yesterday, maybe 3 people or 2 people really, really, really did it in a kind way, because I guess just most people don't know how to. Most people don't know how to, but it's exhaustive, because it's like when you give your all, and then people want more of it, and then your friends want more of it. It's very easy to just get snappy. So I just tried to reply to like one-word answer with people yesterday, so that I could show them that I acknowledged them, that I could care about them even while all this stuff was going on. But I wasn't really interested in having stupid conversations. You know what I'm saying? Not really about stupid conversations. People are like, how does it feel? That's a stupid conversation. So, but people get excited and you gotta let them. Hi, how are you? I'm doing well, how are you? Can I talk about intention in regards to love? I think love is an intention. You can choose it. How do you know you're making a difference? I think that it's self-evident. It's a hard thing to describe. You can objectively measure it. So whenever you set out to do something, you should have metrics before you start doing something. So for me, if I am influencing new brilliant minds, if I am telling the White House and chiefs of staffs and comms directors what to do, and I can watch my private or public commentary take policy, then that's all then I know that I'm a success. If I make an analysis about Kanye West and Kanye West retweets that analysis, agreeing with that, and I'm, only the second person he's agreed with, and the first person he's retweeted, then that's a reward in and of itself. And it lets me know I'm on the right course, and that's what I told everyone yesterday. I had some friends that were texting me, some very famous friends too, they were texting me, and were like, I'm so happy for you. This is going to take you to the next level. And I was like, yeah, I'll go to the next level because it's confirmation. I was already going there. It's just confirmation. I don't want to trivialize the moment, but I'm not going to get money out of this. I don't want media out of this. Me and Kanye ain't about to drop a collab, but if he wants to put some of my audio, my audio in his album, then I'm open to a small licensing fee, a little royalty here or there. But you know what I'm saying? So it's just confirmation that everything I'm doing is paying off. And I do a lot of work behind the scenes, a lot of work, and it's just nice. It's just nice. Did you associate Trump with brilliance? Trump is this generation's best brander, but he might be one of the top 3 best branding geniuses in the world, which puts him in it's like a subcategory of persuasion. So he would certainly, maybe in all of history be one of the. He might be a top 10. He might be a top 10 person in terms of persuasion. So I don't know. Lennon. I've always credited Lennon and Jesus are always the top 2 I think of. And so you got Lennon, you got Jesus. I think Trump's up there. What's one thing Trump really good and really bad at? Trump is really good at branding and persuasion. Trump is really bad correcting a path that's negative for him. I don't want to talk about Trump and relationships with God. And it has been really fun to block people. Yeah, I think so. Don't like Trump, but I understand and respect the void he feels. That's cool. You should speak on a stage to the masses. I don't know that we have stuff like that. That's why I'm on Periscope. But yeah, I mean, one day I would love to do a lecture tour, with groups from 50 to 500 people, and talk about some ideas, especially the ones once they're more fleshed out. Oh yeah, I'm throwing a conference. If you guys want to attend a conference, there's a lot of famous people in politics coming to a conference. AmericanPriority.com. You can buy a ticket now, and AmericanPriority.com. I would love to meet you, have fun with you, and the tickets are affordable. It's in DC, and and if you guys all want to tweet Dave Rubin that I should be on his show now that Kanye's endorsed my analysis, I would appreciate that. Tweet Dave. I want to go on Dave Rubin, Stefan Molyneux, and Joe Rogan. Those are really the only 3 media outlets I want to do. I got to check those off. Everything else is kind of just hogwash to me, So if you guys want to tweet any of those 3 gentlemen, but I don't really want to do Fox News or MSNBC or CNN or any of that stuff. Not really feeling it. So yeah, I actually am going on OANN. I am going on OANN. So me and Jack were texting last night, and I said I would do that. Does that affect your support for his love? I don't know what that means. Can I bring my baby to the conference? Of course. CRTV with Gavin McGinnis? Maybe. Gavin's kind of like a jokester, prankster, and I'm like very serious. Gavin and I are allies and, loose friends, but, I'm about my work. That's the one bad thing about being friends with me or in a relationship with me is I'm about my work. And my work is my love. And fulfilling my work is how I show love to other people. And not everyone's down with that. But I'm not really capable of, like, petting people. Like just sitting on a couch and just like, that would eat me alive. Okay. if Trump had to run as a Democrat, could he have beat out 15 other Democrats? Not after the birther stuff, no. Appreciate you, brother. What city is the conference in? Washington, D.C. Later, buddy. Washington, D.C. AmericanPriority.com. You know, very famous people here in disguise. People don't even know how many people in L.A., famous people, powerful people in L.A., want to be free and are secret closet red pilling themselves. And, you know, I'm not going to out any of them. No one's going to out any of them, but, you know, they'll do them, and they've got to protect themselves until they don't. And that's what's, I think, it's going to be very exciting about what Kanye is doing is he will break this. People like Cerno and me and Scott Adams are just building the ramp, and Kanye is going to break it. And then when the floodgates open, people are going to be like, what? People are going to be like, wait, what? You know, it'll be nice. It'll be nice to watch it all happen. Will this be the death of the two parties eventually? Kanye's no. I don't think that Kanye will be the death of the two parties. Any predictions on Yeezy's next move? If I had any that I wanted to make public, I would. I'm not answering any questions about Q. Tom, you got to be more mindful of your comments now that you're connected to me. No speculating, none of those tipping that. I like how someone said, wow, Q, non-topic? Wow, Ali doesn't want to talk about everything that doesn't relate to this? Wow, wow, wow. Now, how can you not know? Wow. You people trip me out. Wow! Wow! See, this is why I didn't want to talk about it, because now everybody's got an opinion, and none of them are rooted in any facts. I know you're curious, but that's not what this platform is for. This platform is not for random, baseless curiosities. It's not for wow curiosities. Appreciate you, Angie. You took that pretty well. I know you value my opinion, but there's a difference. You want my opinion. You want my opinion. You want something I have, and it's not my opinion. You actually want the answer, and you think I have it, and I probably have it. Actually, I do have it, and I'm not giving it to you. So don't steal from Ali. Patreon.com/Ali Alexander. The cool thing is, there's a trick that I play. So there's some people who support me financially on patreon.com/Ali Alexander. And then there's people who just can't afford to support me financially, but they watch every second of every Periscope. Those people are the most informed people in the entire country. I'm not even kidding. If you're watching every second of my Periscopes, you know things before they happen. Crypto prices, stock prices, events, and all kinds of other stuff. And so that's my gift to those people. It's like a membership that has work. It's like a blockchain of sorts. So like they're a miner and they're mining the entire thing because I won't show up here if there aren't a base of people who watch everything. I just won't. So, like, those people are super informed. And, so if, it's tough. I mean, I wouldn't want to watch as much content as I pump out. I don't. I don't want to answer that question either. Who wrote this? Who wrote this on April 15th? How tragic that in the information age we have a drought of useful information. The countries that take pride in mocking regimes with state media have presses which refuse to touch the biggest stories of the day. Who wrote that? Me. And who wrote this? We're in a so-called information age, but we're starving for wisdom. That'd be Kanye. It's a beautiful time to be alive. Beautiful time to be alive. Oh Lord, na 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 na. Both. I never converted to Islam. I'm an opponent of the Quran. Any advice on how to become a thought leader like yourself? Lead thoughts. Lead thoughts. My Twitter is all lead, just ALI. But to be a thought leader, you have to be extremely well read. You have to have a lot of experience, and then you have to. So remember, you have to assess what is true and what is not true, and then you have to assess if what you're being told is true or not true. And that doesn't mean that someone doesn't believe they're telling the truth. So Karl Marx, Charles Darwin, Young, you're going to have to come up with some systematic idea in your head of who is lying and who is telling the truth, and then what is more accurate and what is not. So, so for me, I seek wisdom above knowledge, but knowledge comes pretty easy to me. Wisdom, I generally have to be humbled in order to learn it, and but yeah, if you aspire to be a thought leader, that is a good thing. Study under someone, find a mentor, and just read. Find someone that you connect with. Find someone that you connect with, and then just sync up with them. So what I did is I was like sync, and then as I grew older, I readjusted a couple things. As I grew older, I readjusted, and right now it's like it's like a branch. Like as a child, you see mother and father, right? Well, then you see someone that dad admires. See someone who mom blushes at. But then you see the commitment between mom and dad, even though mom blushes. And you start associating all kinds of other things. So what would you read up on? Okay, well, let me give you some recommendations if you want some. All right, so I'm going to give you guys some books, and you can take a screenshot if you'd like. One, the Holy Bible. You want to read the Holy Bible. There's a lot of knowledge, and Western civilization has been transformed by that Eastern religion. So if you don't want to read the whole Bible, what I would suggest you do is Genesis, Isaiah, Proverbs, Psalms. Then read Mark if you want to read the shortest gospel. If you're speed reading, read Mark. It's the shortest gospel, and it is the one for intellectuals, low-key. It's also the roughest. It's the hardest one. If you're a woman, you might want to read John. And then I am favored to Paul. So I'd read Romans, Ephesians, and Galatians. And, and if you want to if you're like a Christian who's lost their path, then read John, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, and Acts. And then also if you feel like you're a leader, read 1st and 2nd Timothy. So if you feel like you're a leader, read 1st and 2nd Timothy. Secondly, the book outside of the Bible that is the truest thing I've ever read in my life is The Art of War. So I don't know where that is right now. It's probably somewhere on this desk. But The Art of War, there's not a more true book I've ever read in my life. So read The Art of War. And don't read the whole thing fast. Read it a page at a time. And make sure you guys are following me here. And also that you share this. So read Art of War and go through it over 30 days, because I will tell you, whenever someone tells me that they've read The Art of War after a few days after they've got it, I immediately write off that person. So, and I've never actually said that out loud, but if you have bought The Art of War and then you told me you read it, I already wrote you off. And maybe it's arrogant of me, but I could only read 2 pages at a time without my brain going down the logical order of things and then comparing it to different scenarios and then modernizing those scenarios and making sure I was taking just the translation with it. It is, Sun Tzu was inspired by God to write the truth about the art of war. The next book that you want to read is Persuasion. So take a screenshot if you want. Okay, so read Persuasion. This guy is like the godfather of influence. So that's pretty good. Dale Carnegie, one of the biggest tycoons there's ever been in the world. How to influence and influence people. So if you're not that smart, or you are that smart, but you want to know how to move people, this is a how-to manual on how to move people. I don't use all of these tactics, but when I've made my interns read this book, and they use the tactics, I find them to be a lot more pleasant. Tolerable. And this, as far as I'm concerned, is the precursor. If you want to know for how people and why people, and you want to train your inner self on how to understand people, you got to learn about EQ. So emotional intelligence is more important than your IQ. Your EQ is a hell of a lot more important than your IQ. Your IQ is only the basis by which the range of what you might start learning. It has nothing to do with where you end up, has nothing to do with what you know, has nothing to do with how wise you'll be, has nothing to do with your verbal IQ, your EQ, has nothing to do with understanding social norms. So your IQ won't help you with any of that. And then lastly, I'll recommend 2 books from friends, is Gorilla Mindset. Mike has compiled a lot of just common things that men have learned over the years in this. So breathing, posture. There's a lot of things that if you do physically, they will help you mentally. And a lot of people don't know it. But blood flow, blood circulation, breathing and putting oxygen into your brain, controlling anxiety or stress or making decisions on a rhythmic pattern. This is stuff I learned as a child, piecing stuff together, and then Mike put a lot of that in a book. And then Scott Adams, I haven't read this yet, I just ordered this. So, how to fail at almost everything and still win big. So, yep, of course. So those are some books that if you want to know the secrets to the world, Art of War, the Bible, and then these books will give you control of the world. That's just it. I mean, it's not an exaggeration or a lie. Those people have literally compiled the world's knowledge. If you want to move people and worlds and influence, you can do anything with those books. The mastery is self. The mastery is self. You know? Very smart man, but no, I don't like him. So yeah, there's control of the universe. I hope you use it wisely. I hope you use it wisely. Do I practice meditation? Oh my God, thank you for reminding me. I have to meditate today. That's actually one of the challenges for this group. So I run a group of 100 people, and we do challenges every day, and that was the challenge. That is the challenge for the day, and I forgot to send it out hours ago. Thank you. Can I send out this challenge real quick? I don't agree with that at all. The only versions of the Bible that you guys should be reading is ESV or NASB. So read the English Standard Version or read the what is it? The New American Standard Bible. So NASB or the ESV. Do not read the NIV. Do not read New Living Translation. I'm not even a huge fan of the Amplified Bible. None of all that. So, ESV. ESV is great. All right, oh shoot, no. I need to remove tag. LUV. I've never heard of LUV. So, ESV. NASB. Oh, King James Version? No. You don't want to read the King James Version. It'll get lost on you. Thank you. Now, I read the New King James Version, but they come from like two different corpuses, even though similar names, not the same at all. Yes, positivity. What's funny is I'm not even an optimist. I'm not even an optimist. Yeah, you're right. Kanye did tweet me on the first day of hashtag 30 great days. That is funny. Put that positivity and that purpose in the air, and that's fun. I didn't even think about that. And I'm grateful to all the friends who have helped me, because I'm not doing this alone, look at this. This is beautiful. I'm looking at the hashtag. What is dragon energy? Well, you'll have to stay tuned to find out what that is. I'm still studying what I believe that Kanye means by that. No. NIV is a terrible, 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 inaccurate version. Anything based on the NIV is terrible, terrible, terrible. It's inaccurate. It's not even true. There it is. There's the text message for the day. My kings, my queens. I don't know what that is, Kevin. What's with the again? Well, the again is nostalgia. That there are some things that we have lost inside of society because the postmodernists have taken over. And so the again is not about race or class. It's about was America never great? No, here's the thing, is America's always unfinished. Even the American exceptionalists believe that. So we would never want to go to a fixed point. The conservative would never want to go to a fixed point. It's just linguistics. Make America great again. You know, a time when the divorce rate wasn't what it was, when homes weren't broken like this, where our prison industrial complex wasn't as large as it was, when we weren't subservient to the rest of the world. And so a lot of it is the nostalgia of their childhood when we beat the commies, you know? So, but I understand why a lot of people on the left hear again and they think they want to take us back in every respect to this, and that's not what it is. But I understand where that fear comes from. Because to me it feels like the 50s. Well, it's not. It is some of the social order of the 50s, but it isn't race relations of the 50s. And it's not, but it's about being an economic powerhouse first and foremost. First and foremost, it's about why is China eating our lunch? Why are we getting bullied by other countries? Why are we losing money when we're in the leverage position? So Trump was thinking as a businessman. But he's been talking about that in poor trade deals for 30 years. So he's had a consistent message of, you know, of greatness, of grandeur. And the conservative, we have a phrase we use called America exceptionalism. So if you want, you Google America exceptionalism, and then you can see that Donald Trump, who's not a conservative, has conservative leanings, stuff like that, and you'll understand more of what he meant. But it's akin to American exceptionalism. Awesome, Angie. Awesome. Yeah, sex trafficking is larger than most people conceive. There are more slaves now. There are more slaves now than there have ever been in world history, and that's very tragic. And that's due to sex trafficking and human trafficking. So we need to. Okay, I don't know why everyone's texting me. I'm like, please don't text me. So, more slaves as a percentage of the population? I know that's the raw number. I don't know about percentage. Blacks are the most racist people. Okay, we're blocking that idiot. People be trolling. Yeah, come to AmericanPriority.com. I want to see all of you guys at AmericanPriority.com. We can sit, talk philosophy, talk about how we build the country back together. We're going to be talking about populism. We're going to be talking about a hodgepodge. It's not going to be ideological totally. It's going to have a right of center bent. But, you know, we want to bring everyone together at AmericanPriority.com. And, like, it is going to be Republican-leaning, conservative-leaning, pro-Trump leaning, but I can't wait to meet everyone there. Yeah, there's going to be art, politics, all kinds of other stuff. Love a hodgepodge. Patriots. All right, y'all. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna just go enjoy the rest of my Sunday. Finish doing some little spring cleaning. Shoot out some emails. Get prepared for the work week. And I'm excited. I'm excited to continue this relationship with y'all. I'm gonna make sure that I make sure you're following me still. Make sure that you're following me. I've been in the room with Diamond and Silk, but I've not met them. And we download it. We do a whole little production thing. But yeah, it's gonna be it's a beautiful time to be alive. How many people believe that? Beautiful time. I don't know if things are gonna get dark or good. My inclination is they get dark, but what an exciting time for the opportunity to get real positive or to prepare ourselves before it gets dark. So I don't know. A lot of people are feeling the energy and interpreting it different ways. But one thing that we do here that I like to keep in the forefront of your emojis is we do the crown. So find that crown symbol and give me that crown symbol. We say crowns up, and then everybody in the comments section puts a crown emoji. And it's just a reminder, you are sovereign, you're an individual. And, you know, you're a prince, you're a princess. And we in America sometimes forget that we have inherited this awesome responsibility, this awesome country, that it has all these little problems, but man, we're the most charitable people that have ever lived. We have managed to put a lot of ethnicities in one country, and we're not, you know, we're not dead yet, that we conquered the whole continent, and, or, you know, from left to right of our portion of the continent. And it's just such a beautiful affirmation of destiny. Like, I am a prince. I am a princess. I am sovereign. And I don't need this or that telling me what to do. But we are in a community of princes and princesses. And that makes us equals. All of us, regardless of our race, color, you know, religion, all of it. So crowns up, crowns up. Jesters usually get blocked, And I'm really excited to continue this journey with all of you guys, my princes and princesses, fellow royalty. All right, y'all. You can catch me at Twitter, twitter.com/ALI. I hope that you're following me here. And let's just continue doing us. Let's incentivize this positive and good behavior, right? Let's not make people run to the media and do this hyperbole and fall into sound bites. Let's have long conversations like we used to have again. Make conversations great again. Make education great again. Make empathy great again. Make tolerance great again. Make the issues that are political again. Make the issues that aren't political not political again. And then we can save ourselves from this coming civil war that we're engaged in. And don't trust the media. They're enemies of the people right now. I have no idea why they're choosing this position, but last night they doubled down on bigotry, hate, and just nastiness. And, I hate it for them. They're only destroying themselves. All right, bye, y'all. Love you.